Kia ora, strong winds, heavy rainfall and large swells around those northern coasts is looking like a pretty unsettled story as we head through into that long weekend for Easter. You can see up to the northwest this large mass of cloud, that's Cyclone Tam, and as that sinks southwards it brings with it those strengthening winds, heavy rainfall and the large seas pushing on towards those northern coasts, particularly vulnerable these northern parts of New Zealand, but even the top of the South Island will find that wet and windy weather reaching you as well. As Tam sinks down towards the west of us, it will bring that wet, windy weather across Northland and Auckland as early as this afternoon, and we'll find that spreads across in towards the top of the North Island through to Thursday as well. And we'll also find that wet weather reaching down towards the far northern and western parts of the Tasman region, particularly as we head through Thursday and into Friday. You can see Tam stays close by enough to influence our weather and bring strong winds and pretty high seas around those northern coasts right the way through towards Friday and Saturday. Now, we have already issued some severe weather warnings, both in terms of rain and also for wind. The strongest winds expected up through Northland, Great Barrier Island and Auckland. We could find gusts of wind reaching 120 kilometres an hour as we head through the afternoon today and through in towards Thursday. But we've also have some heavy rain warnings in place also across those northern parts of the country. Northland having a fairly wet run of it as we head through the next few days. Also the Coromandel, parts of the Bay of Plenty and down towards the Tasman region as well. We'll start off though with those ones up north. Those winds will increase as we head through the daytime today, reaching gusts of 120 kilometres an hour, particularly around these exposed coastal areas as those northeasterly winds feed through, reaching severe gale force in the most exposed areas and sticking with us as we head through the afternoon today through towards the end of the day on Thursday. Warnings in place for Northland, Auckland, Great Barrier Island. We'll also find watches further south for those winds. But it's not just the windy weather, we'll also find we've got more wet weather in store as well. Heavy rainfall runs through for parts of Northland, Auckland, particularly the Coromandel as well, one of the wettest spots over the next few days for those northerly winds keeping that rainfall in for you. Rainfall totals could be as much as 250 millimetres of rainfall as we head through into, Friday there. So it is looking like a wet story. It's also worth saying, particularly as we head through the daytime on Thursday, we can find some thunderstorms across those northern parts of Northland, just to add those into the mix as well. And remembering at all these time, those northerly winds, we drive in large amounts of sea onto those coastal regions as well. So another thing to factor in to your long weekend plans. Heading further southwards, you can see we have strong wind watches from Taranaki, Taramanui, Taihape, also up through Waikato and Waitomo, including the Kaimai range. But we'll find winds perhaps gusting 90 to 100 kilometres an hour in those regions, particularly as we head through the daytime on Thursday. Heavy rain warnings also in place for places like the western parts of the Bay of Plenty and also those northern parts of the Tairāwhiti region, as that wind just continues to bring that wet weather there through the daytime on Thursday and also through in towards Friday as well. Those northerly winds taking the time to clear off but still feeding that wet weather across us. And a similar story down to the South Island as well, with those strengthening easterly winds squeezing through in towards parts of Bulla, reaching severe gale force in the most exposed areas as we head through the daytime on Thursday, and then also bringing wet weather towards those northwestern parts of the Tasman region as we head through towards Friday as well. That rainfall piling up through there, so well worth keeping that in mind as we head through towards the end of this week. Now with this wind, it is going to be an unusually large amounts of wind coming through as we go through the next few days. Enough to cause damage to things like trees and power lines, may well disrupt some travel as well. So do keep that in mind as you're making your plans for this long weekend, and do take extra care and extra caution on the roads, especially those exposed open roads and especially for your high-sided vehicles as well. We'll keep you updated with all the latest information, all the latest forecasts, and importantly, all the information from those severe weather watches and warnings. And you can find all of that at MetService.com.